Welcome back to Midlife by Human Design. I am your host, Lori Lisai, and I help midlife women learn how to use your human design so you can shed the shoulds and be who you came here to be. Today's episode is a sneak preview of the private podcast that I will be publishing all throughout 2026 that gives you a glimpse of the gate transits and the energetic weather for the year. And I will be publishing these on a monthly basis as a support tool for you to use in your planning. So if you want to get the Human Design Planning System, the link is in the show notes for that, and the price goes up on solstice. So you've got a few more days to snag that at the price that it is right now. And it is a steal for everything that you're going to get and everything that you're going to learn. So without further ado, let's get into it. Hello, my beautiful midlife mavens. Welcome back to Midlife by Human Design. Today's episode is going to be an example episode of what I will be delivering for the Planning by Design experience in 2026. So if you ever listen to astrology forecasts, this is sort of similar in that what I'm going to share today is the gate transit outlook for this month. Today's episode is going to be covering the rest of December, so you can get an idea about what the energetic weather is going to look like in terms of human design gate transits. So I want to start by just briefly explaining what the hell I'm talking about. First of all, if you don't have your human design chart, you should hit pause and click the link in the show notes to get your human design chart. Just go to my website, lorilisai.com, and click on Get Your Chart, put in your birth information, and you'll be able to see whether these gates are actually part of your energetic blueprint or not. And what happens in the cosmos is the different planetary movements, and including the sun and the moon, transit through different gates. And what we're focusing on when I talk about gate transits in this case is the sun, because the sun gives us about 70% of the energy that affects us. So the sun transiting through the different gates gives us an energetic weather. Just like we are in the midst, for example, of Sag season, right? We're in Sagittarius season right now. And so there is this flavor in the air of adventure and travel and fun and some of the kind of basic themes of Sagittarius. What Human Design does is it breaks down each of the astrological signs into gates. And so within each astrological sign, there are 5 to 6 different gates that give it even more of a detailed look at the energetic weather. And how this can be helpful is just as with the physical weather. I know that it's 19 degrees outside right now from Vermont, and it feels like 3 degrees out. So I'm going to pile on layers when I go outside later. So you just have this idea of how the rest of the world is being affected, or the rest of your area, I should say, is being affected. And so you know what you might want to focus on and how to take action in your life. Obviously, you're always going to want to use your strategy and authority. That trumps everything. Okay, that is the ultimate answer to living your life from a human design perspective, is following your strategy and making decisions according to your authority. So during the rest of December, we are going to be experiencing the energy of gate 11, gate 10, gate 58, and gate 38. So those 4 gates are going to take us through the end of the year. And what I'm going to do in this pod is share a bit about each of those gates so that you have an idea of like, okay, what is the energetic weather going to look like for the rest of December? Okay, so let's start with gate 11. Gate 11 is being transited by the sun starting today, the day this podcast drops, December 15th, all the way through the 19th. So this entire work week, we're going to be in gate 11. Gate 11 lives in the ajna, which is, if you're looking at the chart, the second center down from the top. It's the mind, or the ajna. And this gate is called the gate of ideas. In its high expression, it gives us infinite ideas. It gives us also peace. There are some flavors of reciprocity here, like you scratch my back, I scratch your back kind of thing. There's a flavor of being a natural storyteller or teacher here. And also in its high expression, this gate knows how to discern which ideas are truly valuable. Now, every gate has a spectrum of the way that it can be expressed because we are humans and we have all kinds of different things going on in our lives. So in the low expression with this gate, you can end up having scattered ideas or feeling scattered because you have so many ideas. You can also feel anxiety. You can have like this overactive kind of mental noise going on in your brain. And it can also be this energy of trying to force timing. Like, I have this idea, I have to make it work right now. So that's the spectrum, high to low. And you may be experiencing any or all of those kinds of things throughout the week. And what is a good idea, idea this week is to capture your ideas as they're coming in. You may have a few more downloads than you've had on the regular. So brain dumping, jotting them down, and not putting yourself under the pressure to necessarily act on them, but definitely making sure to capture them. And in the planner that I've designed, there's lots of space for you to be able to do that. Okay, then we're going to move into gate 10 energy starting on the weekend. So 12/20 through 12/24, it's going to take us through Christmas Eve. This gate is called the behavior of self or the love of self. Such a beautiful, beautiful energy. It lives in the G center or the identity center, which is the diamond shape in the center of the chart. In its high expression, this energy is all about integrity. It's about self-love. It's about consistent behavior that aligns with who you are. So this kind of energy is truly at the essence of what I am constantly preaching to you lovely midlife mavens about being true to yourself, about being who you came here to be. Gate 10 holds this energy, and it inspires other people just by being yourself, which is another beautiful result of you sharing your genius with the world. In its low expression, this gate can fall into self-criticism, into people-pleasing, into victim consciousness, into self-judgment because you're not being who you came here to be. And what an interesting time of year for this to be, the sun to be transiting this gate, right? Because we're in the midst of the holidays, a classic time for people-pleasing to happen. is during the holidays, right? You can also fall into victim consciousness when you feel like you're so fucking overwhelmed by everything that you have to do. As a woman, you are the magic maker, right? For the holidays, generally and stereotypically speaking. So, thinking about that low expression to the high expression, how can you spend more time loving on yourself next week and this weekend? How can you start really appreciating what is beautiful about you? And in the planner that I've designed, I have reflection boxes in each week, which is a space for you to reflect on the energy of the week and your experience of the week. So this would be a great place for you to jot down something that you did that you felt like you were really being your true self and expressing that capital T truth. On Christmas, we're going to move into gate 58, which is the gate of joy or gate of aliveness. Okay, just as an aside, if this was indeed Jesus's birthday, then what a great day to come into the world, right? Like, it's as if he maybe planned it or something. Love this. It is in the root center, gate 58, and its high expression. It's all about joy. It's all about vitality. It's all about a zest for life. It's all about celebratory energy. It's about joy as mastery, joyful excellence. So I love the flavor of this gate. This is actually part of my incarnation cross, and I'm just so glad that I assigned this to myself in my soul curriculum. The low expression of this gate falls into being really critical. It can be bitter instead of joyful. It can feel like it just takes too much effort to be joyful. It can also fall into perfectionism or being obsessed with fixing things when it's actually unnecessary to fix things. So I invite you during this week. So this goes from Christmas all the way to the 30th of December. So 12/25 to 12/30. And I invite you during this time to lean into joy, lean into celebration. Maybe you have some time off. Maybe it's just an opportunity for you to spend time with loved ones. And how can you amplify your joy on these days? And a great thing to do if you're using the planner is to track micro wins. Where are you expressing your joy and leaning into your joy? Because appreciation is ultimately what brings the good things into your life. And then on the very final day of 2025, December 31st through the 4th of January 2026, is gate 38, which is the gate of the fighter or the gate of opposition. Such an interesting change in the energetic weather and sort of the flip side of the coin. So this also lives in the root center. If you're looking on your chart to see, do I have this energy naturally in my chart? The high expression knows what's worth fighting for. It finds meaning. It grows stronger through challenges. And it acts with conviction and integrity. It's like, I know what I stand for. I know what is worth fighting for. And this is where I'm going to put my energy. In its low expression, it is damn stubborn. And stubborn all the way to like combative. It's like, I am so stuck in this belief that I am just going to fight to the death with it. It can also feel like everything is a fight. It can feel like you get lost in the winning instead of the actual meaning of the task. And there can also be some victim consciousness in the low expression of this energy. So reflecting on what is worth the struggle. You know, when we're thinking about ending 2025 and starting 2026, this is a great question to reflect on. What would you protect or speak for in the coming year? Like, where do you stand and what do you want to stand for in 2026? And the planner has an entire section at the front for intention setting. And the way I love to do it is to use that week between Christmas and New Year's to sink into that reflection work and think about 2025 and think about 2026. You know, it's a portal. And how do you want to move from 2025 into 2026? So the majority of that week is going to be in the energy of aliveness and joy. And then on that final day, on New Year's Eve, you get to kind of think about, okay, what do I actually stand for? How do I want to start this 2026? Another thing I wanted to mention was when you're looking at your chart, if you have the energy, so for example, I mentioned that I have gate 58 in my incarnation cross. So if you have the energy naturally, then you're probably not going to feel the difference in the energetic weather the way you would if you don't have the energy on a regular basis. So why we say that everyone actually has all the parts of the human design system is because of these transits. Because we do experience all of the gate energies, even if they don't naturally live in our chart, we experience them through transits. So when the sun is moving through a specific gate, we're going to feel that energy. It's going to sort of pseudo-define us in that section of time when the sun is transiting. So if you don't normally have gate 58, if you look at your chart and see, okay, well, maybe I have gate 18, which is it's electromagnetic. 18 is in the spleen and it connects to 58. So for those few days, you're going to have that whole channel lit up and you're going to kind of borrow that energy for the week. So it's just about understanding that there's so much going on around us and we are not disconnected from it. You know, it is all part of being human and being in this human suit, having this human experience. And the transits just give us a little bit more information, gives us something specific to reflect upon, to be like, okay, this is the energetic weather right now, so maybe that's giving me some direction or something to feel rooted in for the week that I can contemplate. And then that helps you to create a far richer life. So I invite you to pick one little practice to experiment with during the sun's gate transits. So Gate 11 this week, you know, brain dumping ideas. Gate 10, alignment check for yourself. How can you love on yourself? Gate 58, joy experiments. How can you really sink into joy? And then gate 38, what is it that you stand for? And remember that you are being affected all the time by the different gate transits. And it doesn't mean anything about you and who you came here to be. It's more that it's giving you information for reflection purposes, and it may help to clarify some things. It also can help you to not be so fucking serious all the time about everything because shit changes all the time. So this kind of episode is what I will be publishing all throughout 2026 to support those of you who decide to jump in with me with this planner experiment. So the planning system is called Planning by Design, and it has, like I said, a whole reflection section for the beginning of the year, for intention setting, for kind of getting your ducks in a row. And then every single quarter, it's got the monthly layout, it's got weekly layout, and it has the gate transits in there. I am going to then publish a podcast that will walk you through those gate transits so you understand the energetic weather that is affecting you. So if you're interested in learning how to plan by design, then I invite you to click the link in the show notes, purchase the planner, and you will receive the intention setting section with the months section to follow very shortly afterward. So here is to planning your 2026 by design. I hope that you loved this episode with the gate transits and the sort of human design forecast for December. And I would love to hear in the comments on YouTube or DM me on other socials whether you're able to discern the different flavors of energy that the sun is transiting during these weeks. So I am wishing you, as always, the strength to let go of what no longer serves you, joy to fill your days, and the clarity to be who you came here to be.